Meanwhile, the newly formed Black Lives Solidarity Movement says funding for the police should be reallocated to community safety and support initiatives. At a gathering at Constitution Hill in Johannesburg yesterday, young people who gathered said investing in anti-poverty campaigns could bring about real change. One such activist is Wits law student Siphosihle Mbuli. She joins us now. A very good evening to you, Siphosihle.
The fact that I will not go home and be 100% sure that I am safe is a problem to me. The fact that I sit with two of my friends and two of us have been raped is a big problem. The fact that we know victims, the fact that Siphosihle was hung is a problem. Me speaking here is not a problem.
Siphosihle Mbuli joins us now via Skype. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. So that was you speaking, making a very impassioned plea to the community that was there with you, but communities around the country. But you also felt that there was misinformation around some of what you were saying. Just please clarify that for us.
So I think it is important to note that in South Africa, there are more victims than are recorded and more victims than we will ever know. So when I say that 2 out of 3 of us will in this lifetime, I mean 2 out of 3 Black women in this lifetime will fall victim to GBV in some way and form. And this may not necessarily be me, and this may not be in a way that is familiar to everyone, but it's something that we will all face, and unfortunately and unnecessarily. It's not something that we want to face. It's not a reality that we are excited about, but it is a reality that is here. Only 1 out of 9 cases in South Africa are reported, which means we sit at home, we sit with cousins, we sit with friends who tell us their stories. We know more of their stories than our police force knows. And that is for many reasons that the government won't acknowledge and our society won't acknowledge. So when I say 2 out of the 3 of us will eventually fall into the hands of GBV, it's not because I have fallen into the hands of GBV, but I am existing in a time where I can sit with 3 of my friends and hear 2 stories in a night.
And you'll tell me how comfortable you are answering this question, but I just want to understand how close to home has it been for you, as in, do you know people personally who've been through it, who've still struggled with the judicial or legal system, or even police in reporting the cases?
I think many of us do, and that's the sad part. I work with a foundation that does phenomenal work in Tetelelo Foundation, but we are currently sitting with a prosecutor and writing letters to a prosecutor and the NPA because the prosecutor has sided with the rapist and has not taken the case all the way through. And it's those little things. There are more cases. These are just the cases I get to work on. These are the cases that I get to hear from my friends that I get to be a part of. It's not all of them. I sit with a friend who was raped 5 years ago, who to this day has still not reported it. I sit with a friend who to this day does not know that they were actually raped and can't come to speak about it. And it's not for me to tell their stories, but it's for me and for us as South Africans to acknowledge that these stories exist in our homes, they exist in our school lives, they exist in every facet of our society. And that is a problem, and that is a real pandemic.
Would you care to comment about the president's call for young people to be more at the forefront of gender-based violence?
It's a shifting the blame. It's saying that young people must now take the baton. Why is government not taking the baton? Why is government not introducing meaningful change? Such as, we clearly know that innocence until proven guilty does not work in rape cases. If it did work, we would have more convicted rapists, but we don't, and that is the truth. So why is innocent and proven guilty until proven guilty still the standard of proof there? So it's government once again shifting the blame. President Cyril Ramaphosa not wanting to have the honest conversations about GBV. Corona is not the first pandemic to hit our shores. GBV has been here for many years. And it's frightening to think that in South Africa, as a Black woman, I am most likely to die from gender-based violence before coronavirus gets me.
As a legal student, if you had an opportunity to change the law, what would you change and what would you change it to?
So our law as it currently exists focuses on the perpetrators and protecting the perpetrators. Victims, as we've seen in the Omotoso case, have to go through everything and more to ensure their case gets heard. And the Omotoso case is only just but one, where we've heard the stories and we've heard the viciousness that our judiciary has put young women through. So that's what I would change. I would change our society and our system to a victim-based society that takes the victim's word. And yes, we fear the thing of people saying rape when rape really didn't exist in the situation. But we must acknowledge those cases are far and few between. Rape in South Africa is something that happens more often than they want to admit, and more often than our judiciary sees, more often than our police see.
Thank you so much for speaking to us and taking the time to share your thoughts. Activist and Wits Law student Siphosihle Mbuli.